I've long had an interest in Native American folklore regarding the Sasquatch, or Bigfoot, and rightfully so. The Native, or First Nations people, have had a very long history with these beings all over the North American continent. So, based on this, I've always given the Native peoples much credence and respect on this subject. I myself am part Cherokee. My first book, The Shampe, is based on a Bigfoot type cannibalistic monster from Choctaw legend. Recently, a friend of this channel, David from southwest Oklahoma, who is of the Comanche people, shared with me some details of the Bigfoot in Comanche folklore. The Comanche call this creature Pia Moopits. On a recent trip to southwest Oklahoma, me and my wife were visiting the Mount Scott area and went to an area called Medicine Park and went into a gift shop there. In the gift shop, there were T-shirts with a picture of a Bigfoot on them that said Pia Moopits. So, with that in mind and permission from my friend, I'm going to share an old Comanche story about the Pia Moopits that is titled How the Spots on the Moon Originated. And I'll say thanks again to my friend for sharing this, and I hope that you enjoy the reading. Once, many years ago, some Comanche people were camping along a stream. A group of girls were playing in the woods a short distance from the camp. Playing here and there, they paid little heed to their wandering or to the passing of time. In the meantime, the band of Comanche had found it necessary to break up their camp and move on. In their haste, they forgot the little girls. One of the children, wandering toward the site of the village, saw that all the teepees were gone and that the camp was completely cleared. Running back, she reported her discovery to the others. Believing her story impossible, the oldest girl sent another to see. She told the same story. Fearful of facing such a predicament, the oldest led the way back to camp, hoping there to find the trail that their parents took. By this time, the youngest child, becoming hungry and cross, began to whimper. Nothing that the girls could do seemed to quiet her, and her crying became louder. Suddenly, they heard a far-off voice calling them. They stopped to listen. This voice, that seemed to come from the direction of the stream, spoke again and again. "Come to me. I shall care for you. Come, come, my child." Wistfully, not knowing what else to do, they followed the voice. It led them closer and closer to the stream. "Here I am," said the voice, affecting gentleness. There before them sat Pia Moopits. "Come nearer. I will not harm you. I will quiet the child. Just leave her here near me, where I can watch over her and care for her while you go on with your playing," the great figure said. Fearful of disobeying so monstrous a being, the girls obeyed and were soon farther downstream, splashing and bathing in the water. When they returned, and while Pia Moopits was not looking, the child confided her frightening experiences with the giant, his abuses, his threats, and his promises to her older sister. While the group was gone, she related, he began telling her she was just the kind of little girl that he liked, good, beautiful, and healthy. "I think I shall keep you. Perhaps I shall keep you always," he had said. "No, no, please, let me go. I want to go back," she pleaded. "If you do not do as I command, I shall harm you. I shall eat you," he threatened. Then, in the midst of her fright, the group returned. The girls were already worried lest they be unable to follow the trail of their parents, but they were now more concerned about their lives under the power of this terrible giant. "We must think of a plan that will allow us to escape safely. But what can we do? He watches us constantly," the sister whispered as she sought the advice of the oldest girl. "We can't run. He would overtake us, and then we should all perish," she said excitedly. "I have an idea. I shall persuade him to let us go a short distance down the stream to bathe the little girl and wash some clothes," said the oldest after some thought. Pia Moopits granted the girls permission to go as she suggested. "But do not go beyond calling distance. When I call, you must answer and come back here," he instructed them. "We promise faithfully to do whatever you say if you will let us go," said the girl, taking the smallest child by the hand. Going downstream along the bank, the girls met a great green frog. "Frog," said the oldest, "we are in serious difficulty. We are lost from our people and want to find the trail that will lead to them, but a terrible giant has us in his power and will do us harm. We told him we would be here washing, but we want to find the trail before dark. Can you help us? He will soon call for us to return. Will you, kind frog, please answer for us? Just say we are still busy washing, and while you are answering him, we will be able to run to safety. I'll do what I can for you girls. Run along. I have a good, strong voice that will sound so much like yours that he will not notice the difference," said Frog. Thankful, but not entirely relieved, the girls ran as fast as they could. It wasn't long before the giant called, "Girls, are you coming?" "We are still busy washing," came the answer. More time passed, and again the giant called, "Come back, girls, you are staying too long." "We are still busy washing," Frog faithfully answered. The giant called again and again. He always heard the same answer. Becoming suspicious after the fourth call, the giant started toward the place where the voice was. As he neared the spot, he was still unable to see the girls. "Where are you?" he commanded. "We are still busy washing," Frog croaked, and plunk! Frog jumped into the stream and was gone. Too angry to say anything, the giant, with a loud roar, started down the trail the girls had followed. The girls, in the meantime, had run until they were completely exhausted. They then met Eka Kaura. "We are in great danger," they cried. "The giant is chasing us, and we can run no farther. Can you help us?" "I'm not very big, but I shall do all in my power. Form a circle behind me while I face the enemy alone," said the baby buffalo. By this time it had grown dark, but a bright moon was shining in the sky. They could see the great giant coming into the clearing over the hill. Nearer and nearer he came, growling in anger with every step. Another step, and he would be upon them. Suddenly, the little buffalo made a well-timed lunge forward, striking the giant right in the middle, and oomph! The giant was thrown far up into the sky. He never fell back to earth, but as the girls looked up into the heavens, they observed dark splotches appearing on the moon. Ever since that time, when the girls were saved by Eka Kaura, we have had dark spots on the moon. And that is the story from Comanche folklore of how the spots on the moon originated. I hope you have enjoyed this reading and would like to extend another thanks to my friend David who shared this story. So until next time, you guys take care.